Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, we're going to be trying to understand J.D.L.
John David Lees. Oh, yeah.
So kick back for the next 2 hours, and we'll get to know a little bit more about J.D.L. But first, we're going to kick off with a fairly new track by the name of El Diablo. Boom. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and welcome aboard. It is the end of the week here in Australia. Thank God. Maybe Thursday for the rest of you, but man, it has been a time. I remember when a dime was a dime, And I remember when weather wasn't so bad. Here in Australia, in Melbourne especially, where I am, guys, we are flooded at the moment. Our entire state is flooded. My roof is leaking. The water is like this deep. Everywhere you go, cars are stranded. It is crazy times. And there's no such thing as global warming, is there? Absolutely not. Everything's perfect. Nothing to see here. So, we are at the end of the week and it is time for our interview. And I'm super stoked to have this artist on with me today. Somebody who's created quite a bit of a stir in the iOS and YouTube music creation-osphere, collaboration-osphere. This person you will have heard many times on many people's music, not only his own. He's been collaborating with a heap of people, so his voice is everywhere. You may have seen him dancing around in a kilt. What's the difference? I never understand it. But he is coming all the way in from Scotland today, and I would like to welcome for the first time on the channel, and hopefully not the last, like many guests that we have, all the way from Bonnie Wee, Scotland, the one, the only, J.D.L John David Lees. Welcome aboard.
Hello, Jade.
How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. You'll have to speak
It could
in.
get quite challenging.
You'll have to speak in English, please. No. Here's the deal. We've had a running joke going on. I asked John to come on the show, and he's like, you won't be able to understand me. I'm like, no, I will be able to understand you very clear because my first girlfriend, her dad, well, she was Scottish, and her dad used to go away on a sailing ship for 3 months, and he was very Scottish, like, the kind of Scottish where when he talks, he goes, and I'm like, no idea. And he was a massive...
I wouldn't understand that.
He was a massive drunk too, so like he would slur everything. And like I said to you, if I could understand him, I can understand any Scottish person. So you're clear as day, man. If you can't understand out there, folks, you're the problem. That's what I'd say.
You're doing very well, to be fair.
Man, it's easy.
I've had people in Scotland look at me and say, "What is he saying?"
That's the one thing about the Scottish people. I've had a lot of Scottish friends throughout my lifetime, and you're a bunch of funny fuckers. Right?
I've met quite a few funny Scottish people.
Yeah. Like I have stayed backpacked with a lot of Scottish people, and man, they were always the dude who always kept us laughing, and which I was always jealous of because I was like, hang on, that's my position. So one of them I murdered, but anyway, that's another story. We won't talk about that. Were we hippie? Boom. So let's jump in. Tell us a bit about this song, which we just opened the show with, El Diablo. So this is a collab with you and who else? Who was on this song?
It was done at Jeffrey Bezos from he's Dutch, but he stays in Belgium.
Right, and
So he initially, sorry.
Yeah, how did this song come about?
Well, he initially had written all the music for it as an instrumental, and he had it posted on his Facebook channel, on his YouTube channel, and we'd collaborated on a couple of songs before, and he sent it to me and asked me if I would put some lyrics to it and sing to it. So my process is I put the music on in headphones or in the car, and I'll just let it loop constantly until the lyrics come to me. So El Diablo, the actual chorus line came to me pretty much straight away, and I just built the rest of the lyrics around about that.
Well, I think it's really good to see you stepping out of your comfort zone and giving us some death metal growls. I always am happy when I hear someone doing some death metal.
I certainly haven't as good at them as you.
No, you did a good job, man. You're much better than Pete Johns. Whenever Pete Johns does it, I sit there and cringe. I'm like, oh no, Pete, no, it's not you, man. No, you did a great job. You were fantastic. It was very,
thank you,
very convincing. So you've got a future in this.
I don't think my throat would agree.
It hurts after a while.
Mm-hmm.
The older you get to, the harder it is. Trust me on that.
Well, I'm pushing 50, so
You're not far behind me. So let me hit you with the first question of the interview. And also, before I go on, I want to welcome all of you here in the chat. I will get to you all and call out your names. We normally do it about 20, 30 minutes into the show. So, have at it. There's plenty of emojis in the chat for you to play with if you're a Wart Warrior for $1 a month. And spam the chat right now, please, with the J.D.L emojis that are sitting in there. So feel free to bang those into the chat anytime you like. Sorry for the earlier time as well. It is what it is. Next week, I think we're going back to the normal time. It is what it is. All right. J.D.L, what does music mean to you?
I think everybody starts by going, suppose music, it's a feeling, I suppose. It depends on what mood you're in. So music can make you feel happy, can make you feel sad. For occasions, weddings, for funerals, music covers everything. Really much everything.
Absolutely. Sometimes I listen to music and it makes me angrier than how I felt before. And sometimes I can't listen to music. Sometimes I'd rather listen to talkback. In fact, I can't
I
listen.
listen to music every day, to be fair.
Yeah, I do too. I can't listen to music going to sleep. I don't know why.
I listen to podcasts usually to go to sleep.
Yeah, same. I enjoy listening to people talking. I do enjoy AM radio when I go to sleep. I love listening to old people complain about shit.
It must be a generational thing.
I think it's a fetish. I don't know.
You ever heard of Carl Pilkington?
No.
Ricky Gervais.
I know Ricky Gervais.
Well, he's very abroad. There's a show where he goes all around the world and just complains about everything endlessly. It's actually hilarious.
Right. I do love a good complaint, man. I love a good complaint because they make me laugh so much. Unless it's me having to complain, then I'm pissed off as hell. As always.
Everybody's allowed to complain.
Yeah. You know what I like to do? I like to do prank phone calls as my comedy character, Gladys Worthington, and ring the complaints department and then complain about the complaints department. It's so meta, They're like, what are you actually complaining about? I'm like, I'm complaining about you. You're not taking my complaint seriously enough.
I bet they're baffled.
And because when you're acting like an old person, nobody wants to get mad at you because they think you're old. So I can be crass. Anyway, that's another story. Music. Let's get back there. Do you recall the music that was played in your household when you were growing up? And
when I was growing up. Sorry.
Yeah. And so your parents, I'm saying, what your parents used to play, and who are some of those artists, and have they influenced you?
Certainly in my household in the 70s, it was ABBA.
Nice.
From my mother, and Queen from my father. That's all I heard constantly. Always ABBA or Queen. Just depending who had control of the music centre.
That's quite a broad difference, really, isn't it? One's full of dancing queens, and the other one has a vocalist who was indeed a dancing queen.
Yes, that's true.
So, were you inspired by this music to, was it an early age that you wanted to, did you want to be Freddie Mercury, is what I'm saying?
Really, music I wasn't really into music when I was younger. No, I would listen to it, certainly, when my parents were listening to it, but I was never really into it until maybe about 12 or 13.
Right, so it was a background thing, more or less, for you?
Yes. I was too busy going out and causing mischief.
Is it easy to cause mischief in Scotland?
Pretty easy, huh?
Is it easy to get in trouble in Scotland?
Very easy.
Is it easy to get arrested in Scotland?
I don't think it's as easy nowadays. It's probably easier back then.
Because it's an interesting place, Scotland. But jokes aside, I've been to the UK, but I didn't get to go to Scotland. But it was on my list because the scenery is always so beautiful. Like it's renowned for its scenery, you know. And
Yeah, we take it for granted, I think.
well, I think as humans we take a lot of it, everything for granted. Did you see that article that was out this week with William Shatner talking about his experience going into outer space?
I think I seen the post. I think it was in your Facebook.
Yeah, I've been pushing it everywhere because it is a thing, man. We do take this planet for granted. We absolutely do. You know, the beauty. I mean, the last few days I've been wanting to get outside to go and shoot video because I have all this beautiful parkland outside, but because we're flooded, I can't get out there. But at least 3 times a day, I sit there at the window just looking outside going, oh,
Yeah, just yelling trying to get outside.
it's so beautiful out there. And in here, it's horrible. So Queen and ABBA were the dominating thing. Do you think these two artists have inspired what you write today? Do you see any of that in your music?
I don't think so. No, I really write from a feeling. I don't really have anything in mind at the time. It's just if there's a bit of music there, I'll sit and I'll just see what the feeling is and start writing to that.
Absolutely. So do you recall the first album that you purchased and the first album that was given to you as a gift?
Yeah, first album I purchased would probably be Michael Jackson Thriller. And then I quickly bought Bad after that, and then I went back to Off the Wall. So I pretty much was a Michael Jackson super fan back in the 80s. I think I was watching Glitch's interview the other day there, and he mentioned he gave Shakin' Stevens.
No, yeah.
I don't know if you know who Shakin' Stevens
Behind the green door, the green
Yeah, well,
door.
that's the first probably 7-inch single I got. I was actually quite a super fan of his too.
Where is he from?
He's from Wales.
He's from Wales, right?
Yeah.
He
was massive in there.
Yeah, for a period of time, he was everywhere. He did a cover of something else, didn't he? I can't think. He did something.
Did This Old House.
That's what he did.
Old
Yeah,
Julie.
yeah. This Old House. I remember that. Yeah, 80s. He was everywhere. It was like, oh my god,
He was everywhere.
We've got an Elvis revival happening through Shakin' Stevens going on.
Yeah, that's what the first time I seen him on the TV. I was pointing to it. I was quite young, and I says, because my uncles were all into Elvis, and I would say, "Oh, there's Elvis," and the guys, "Oh no, that's Shakin' Stevens."
Most normal, no, I say normal. Hang on, most conspiracy theorists are out there saying, "I saw Elvis at a McDonald's."
People have been seeing Elvis for many years now, haven't they?
I know. What is the deal with that? That dude's dead. Let it
It's
go.
the same with Tupac.
Yeah, we're gonna get this kind of stuff for.
Yeah, forever.
Hugh Caldwell says old Shaky is still touring. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I think yes. Actually, I think yes.
Makes me want to do a quick search. Do you reckon he's got a YouTube channel? Do you reckon he's?
I would imagine so.
Let's see.
I've never looked, to be fair.
Shakin' Steve. I'm guessing it's V. Shakin' Stevens.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's got you. Look at this. Oops, wrong camera. There we go. Shakin' Stevens.
Yes, Christmas.
1 year ago, You Drive Me Crazy official video on Vivo. Man, he looks young as hell. Look at him. What's the deal? What?
That top one can it possibly be him now?
This was 2 years ago. Oh no, that's
Really?
this old house. Maybe
Old House,
he's just re-releasing all these videos. Yeah, so he probably he can't be this young. Bizarre. There we go.
I
Shakin'
like this
Stevens.
denim.
I wonder if he's still wearing denim.
I think he wears suits now.
Yeah, this photo up here, he's got like this jacket on.
That's my favourite Christmas song all the time.
And a scarf. That scarf's pretty sexy. I don't know. Geez, gonna have to get a wet nap after that. So where are we? Do you remember the first gig that you went to?
I always joke about this. In 1989, I was a a TV show in Britain called Get Fresh, and they used to travel around the country. And they came to my hometown, and there was a band there called Aswad. So they played a couple of songs. So I always joke that was my first gig I ever went to. But the first real gig I ever went to was, to me, my favourite memory was Oasis at Nebworth Park in 1996.
Was that a good show?
Oh, it was awesome. The Oasis were there, Manic Street Preachers, Charlatans, Killer Shaker. There was a dance band there called Dread Zone, and another band called Killer Shaker.
That's a pretty
Just
good
at a festival, it was amazing.
Yeah. Have you been to a lot of festivals? Are there still festivals happening across Europe, or are they all?
During COVID, there wasn't many, but they're starting to come back in now.
Right.
Glastonbury was back on this year.
I haven't been following if they're opening them up here. I stopped going to festivals just because of the health, the water, more reason than not, because so many people pass out at them, and there's so many drugs there, and if you're not drinking water and not taking and taking drugs, which most people are, which I'm not drug shaming at all, if you know my past at all. I would never go to a festival unless I was on drugs. That was the thing. It's probably why I don't go to festivals anymore. I don't take drugs. There you go. I'm answering my own stuff. Have you ever thought about being a psychologist, J.D.L?
No, many no, but you never know.
You're drawing all these questions
Give
out
it a
of
go.
me. You're drawing all these answers out of me, and I'm not even. It's not even my interview. What am I talking about?
What was the last festival you were at?
I think it was called Soundwave, and I think Faith No More were headlining. And
Who else was there?
that's the only reason I went. I don't remember anything else except Faith No More, because I was only
Yeah.
going to see Faith No More. Because I think they just come back after 20 years of not playing. So I went to their solo show, and then I went to that. But yeah, I got there really late and just went to see Faith No More, and then fucked off.
Did they do that song Epic? Was it Epic?
They sure did. That was
That's a
really
good tune.
that was a massive song for them, but they had many more songs that were big. It's just, I think they dropped off the radar because they intentionally dropped off the radar. They're one of those bands, John, that they got big and the singer hates the whole circus around media and music and interviews. So their very next album, they went totally the opposite direction and went really death metal and aggressive. And I think they tried to scare off half their fans, which there are some artists out there who do that, that don't dig fame and just try and do a U-turn. Get rid of the...
Yeah, fame can be pretty overwhelming, can it?
Yeah, because, I think that happens with some bands where you are a certain style and you know your audience, and then all of a sudden one song goes mainstream and you have all these new people who are dickheads that you don't want as your fans. I don't know. Most of us would just take any fans we can get, really.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
just get us enough money on our Spotify to pay our distro kid a year.
I'm not even interested in fame. Just give me the money.
Yeah, exactly. So you said you got into music around the age of 13 kind of thing. Were you in Scotland, was music a part of your school curriculum? And as always, were you forced to learn the recorder?
Music in certainly primary school was part of the curriculum. And yes, you were force-fed the recorder. But I was shit at it.
I've never heard.
And then I picked up the violin.
Really?
I was even worse at it.
It's a hard instrument. It really is hard. I've got one at the moment. I've been trying to learn it for 2 years, and man, the worst thing is it's so loud, and you sound terrible, and you're conscious that you're annoying people. That's what so every time I pick it up and start playing, I'm like, all I think about is I'm pissing everybody off. So I can't relax enough to learn it.
But when it's played properly, it's a beautiful instrument to listen to.
Absolutely. It is a sexy instrument, definitely. And they're so light too. Like the one I have Like it costs $200, but when I pick it up, it's so light. I feel like if I just slightly press it too hard on the neck, I'm going to
They
snap
might
it.
break.
Yeah, they're so fragile. I guess that's why they sound so beautiful. You know, most
Yeah.
people.
Well, my favorite band, the Blue October, they've got a guy in there called Ryan Taylor. He's amazing on the violin. He can just captures your attention and just drags you in. Just playing instrumentals. He's absolutely amazing.
So, did you pursue any music lessons? When did you start feeling like you wanted to sing?
Well, in primary school, believe it or not, I was cast as the lead singer in a nativity play. That was pretty much my career. And then I went to secondary school, and I think after first year at secondary school, I did a bit of singing then, and then Mother Nature took over. My voice broke, and I sounded like a goose farting in the wind.
Now, I've
Just
never,
to quote Billy Connolly.
I've heard that saying before. What I was going to say is, I've never actually heard a goose fart in the wind.
Yeah, but it was funny when he says it.
It was funny when you said it too. I'm not sure if I wonder if everybody understood. Well, people are laughing, so everybody understood. See, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. People do understand. Where am I going next? So, did you join a band at any time? Was there a school band or anything like that in high school or anything like that you did? No.
No, in my younger years, I was just. It's hard to. Well, it's no difficult to explain. I just pissed about. Secondary school, I very rarely went. I went to it, but I just didn't stick in. Nothing really interested me there. I loved primary school, but I hated secondary school. Really hated it.
Yeah, well, it all depends too. Like, it's weird, isn't it? Like my sister went to when we went to high school. She went to one high school, and I went to a tech school. And she hated high school so much, hated it like with a passion. But I went to a tech school where they had trades and they had music courses, radio courses, media courses. So from year 7
See, I
all the way
probably would have
through.
preferred that.
Yeah, and like that's why my time in high school was amazing because I remember doing things like at lunchtime you could book the radio room and go in and play records, and they'd play all throughout the school, and I got to play death metal and just piss the whole school off, and it was the best. You'd hear people banging on my door going, "Turn that shit off! It's the devil's music." Yeah. No wonder I got my head punched in all the time. It's worth it, I reckon. So, no vocal training or anything like that, or was it?
Well, until recently, I had a few lessons recently, but no, not really. No.
And how have they gone? Have you gone about seeking vocal lessons? Because it's a hard thing to find a good vocal coach that gives you what you're seeking. Did you have an idea of what kind of teacher you wanted?
No, well, where I live, you've not very many choices, to be fair. But my wife asked me I don't know, was it for my birthday or my Christmas? I can't remember, but I asked if I could get some singing lessons, and she says, "Well, okay, I'll see what I can do." So she managed to find a young man for Belfast, and I conducted it through online with him, basically the way we are talking, So he helped me immensely. Breathing exercises, warm-ups, your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, dos, that. And I think my next door neighbour must have been off his head.
And a bit of
Yes, all of that.
All of that stuff. You're breathing. Yeah, got to loosen your lips. Got to
loosen everything up.
Loosen your lips. Well, I used to be a singing teacher for quite a few years, and gave it up mainly because of the parents. Fuck the parents, man. The parents are fucking insane. They come in there with these grandiose ideas. My child's amazing. And then I go, all right, well, let's hear your child sing. And I'm like,
No shit.
wow, your child needs to be drowned right now. Please. I'll pay for the trip to the local swimming pool. You drown the child, please do. But it's a hard thing to teach because like the whole American Idol thing, people go on that show and have this concept of I'm already great because I've had everybody tell me I'm great. And that's when there's trouble. So the same thing as a singing teacher, you get people coming to you and they're like, I'm already really good. All my friends tell me I'm really good. So you're just going to make me even better. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. I would normally turn people down if that's how they come in. I would normally look for people who are quite shy and need to be brought out of their shell because that's where it is.
When I went to him, I knew my limitations. If some of the songs I was singing were quite monotone and I wasn't projecting, I wasn't getting enough, what we would say in Scotland, welly. So he kind of brought that out. I mean, that's, if you go back to some of my earlier songs, you can hear that compared to now where I'm actually going up and down the range.
And do you know your range? Have you sat down and so do you know what your range is now?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what it is in notes now, but
so do you know?
I can go from low to high.
That's what she said.
Not really high. Not really high though.
Well, you do have a relatively very high voice, So
when I was younger, I had a really high pitched voice.
Yeah,
as in an altar boy kind of pitch.
That's what being an altar boy will do.
I was never an altar boy.
There we go. Just putting that out there, folks.
Just putting that out there.
Are we clear? Good. I love that. All right, I'm going to play a song and then we'll come back and we'll say hello to everybody here. Thank you all for being here. So there's 22 of you here in the chat. So it warms the cockles of my heart to know that you're all here. I'm going to play.
Yeah, thank you.
Going to play this one. This is called I Want You. And this is from 9 months ago. So we're playing original tracks today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this before we jump in and play it?
Well, this one's dedicated to my wife. You'll see in the video. She's actually the one that's got me started on this journey. I mentioned, I think it was another birthday that I wanted to learn guitar. So she went and got me a guitar and it started for there.
I could tell she's really supportive because just before you came on, I saw her come in and give you a quick good luck kiss, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that's really, I thought that was really sweet. There you go.
I've actually got another song for her called that's My Angel. So that's dedicated to her as well.
Awesome. So this is I Want You. Folks, kick back, grab yourself a beverage, enjoy the music, and we'll be back in a few moments' time. And we'll say hello to all of you and we'll find out more about the elusive J.D.L. Let's do it.
Time goes by in the blink of an eye. You're leaving me wanting more. Words cannot express how I feel. You're
I Want You. John David Lees. Let's bring him back into the picture here. Boom. What a beautiful song.
Boom.
That was beautiful, man.
Yeah, well, she did inspire me.
Did she love it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So we'll talk more about family and stuff. Let's do that now. Let's say hello to everybody here. So let me bring up this screen here. If you'd like me to call out your name, guys, type. If you've typed ages ago, it makes it easier than me scrolling trying to find everybody. Let's say hello to Hugh Caldwell, Roque, welcome aboard. Joe and Barry, well, Joe's here. Scott Borthwick, the Lily Pillies, Gregory O'Sullivan, Folk Punk is here. Thomas Christ, Conspiracy Music, hi Clay. Cy Effin writes type. Christy's here, hi Christy. Capsalam, Chris Lane Sr. Who else do we see? PJ Kobe, hello to you. Mr. Smith, what's going on? Where you been? Hope everything's settled down. I know where you've been. Hope everything's settled down. Jeffrey's here. We opened with your song as well. Dom's typing. Who else do I see from my scrolling? Hugh Caldwell, I think I already said you. So we've got a big crew in the house. Remember, let me just scroll up, make sure there's anyone else. Tremor Bear, I see is here as well. L'Reality. In the list, on the master list. God, I'm starting to go all Ron Ward. Speaking of Ron Ward.
Why do I need a sex bot when I have Jade?
Oh, God. That didn't work so good. One more time.
Why do I need a sex bot when I have Jade?
Damn, Ron. Hi, Empirism, what's happening? I think I've got most of you all. Thank you all for joining us here today. And I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the interview and all the cool music that we're going to be playing. So I'm gathering, of course, from that song, family is really important to you. You mentioned that your wife has pushed you into singing. So how did you get back? How did you find this community? How did you get into singing again and start this whole new journey?
Started off with, like, say, my wife bought me the guitar, and I was just scrolling through YouTube like everybody else does. I think trying to learn chords, and then it progressed to thinking. I had an iPhone, and I always seen GarageBand, and it was always baffled me. So I didn't bother wait for a wee while, and then I came across, I think, like a lot of people had done with Pete Jones's channel. So I started watching Pete more about GarageBand. Yeah, I'm no good on the guitar, but I got slightly better on it, and I managed to put a few chords together, and I thought to myself, oh, that sounds quite good. I think I could write a song to that. So I wrote a song called My Angel. Then I went into GarageBand. Started just using the instruments on it, and then my iPod. And the next thing I knew, I was throwing on violins and all different types of. That's the great thing about GarageBand. There's no restriction on what you can actually play.
It really does open up a many doors, doesn't it? Like, no pun intended. But compared to, like, your standard doors, old kind of, back in the old school days when I'd use Logic on PC and stuff, you didn't have all these instruments that you could just like touch, and all of a sudden you've got a full orchestra playing behind you. It really does open up so many avenues with music.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can get a keyboard.
Yeah.
It amazes me.
And just have piano parts playing and be able to, even drummers, like, I know for a lot of people getting drums is a really hard thing to do. And to just be able to open that thing up and just select a drummer by name and go, yeah, okay, you.
You'll do me.
It still amazes me. It really does amaze me. So I didn't know that you came from Pete's thing. I wasn't
Pete's was the first show in the community. He was actually the first person to play one of my songs.
Oh, wow. So was that on YML?
It was on YML, yes.
Man, that
I just
YML.
thought I'll give it a go, see how it goes. He might say no, he might not play it, but thankfully he did.
Man,
So I've never looked back since then, really.
hasn't YML grown since those early
yes.
days too? Like, I say it all the time. Pete messaged me one day and was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a show where I play people's music." And I was like, "Yeah, you're going to be doing that for a long time then, because those kind of shows they will take off." And now you can't close
It's
your
massive.
eyes. There's always a show on YouTube, it seems, where people's music's getting played, which is really good. You know, it's good to
Yeah,
see.
well, you've got Metalhead Happy, you've Ron, Thomas. I'll just give Thomas a wee plug.
Nice. It always interests me who's got mugs and stuff, because it's bizarre, you know. We put out these silly mugs and stuff, and it's always the people you don't expect who's got. Say, I wouldn't expect you would have a Thomas Christ mug. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I'll get away with any of your mugs.
No, these are
My wife doesn't like that word.
these are a specialist kind of cup.
Yeah, she definitely is like, I hate to say see you next Tuesday.
I think if you get one of these, you take it to work, right? That's where these belong.
aye.
And then it just stops
Get it on your
anyone.
boss's desk.
Yeah, exactly. Or it stops anyone from, or it's going to get stolen at work for sure, because
No, definitely.
most jobs are full of them. That's another story. So how long have you been playing guitar for? You said you got a guitar.
I started playing it started learning it middle of 2020.
Wow.
And I haven't really progressed much, really, to be fair. I can play a couple of chords on it, but this year I've really been concentrating a lot on cover versions, where there's so many great instrumentalists and artists in this community. I don't need to worry about playing any instruments.
Did you have a primary place where you went to pick up the beginnings of a guitar? Like, was it YouTube videos or anything like that you started learning from?
It was just a mixture of different. It's probably the wrong way to try and learn, but just a different YouTube channels. Young person, you telling you how to do this way, how to progress this way. And I think I'm going to buckle down over the next 12 months and try and learn it properly.
We have so many options now. I mean, I remember being young and wanted to learn a Metallica song, and you had to go to like a music store and purchase the Justice for All official Metallica guitar book, and it cost you like $50. And as a kid, that was rough. And then you got it home, and half of the music in that book is wrong. And these days, good Lord, man, we do live in the future. Now you can just watch a video of somebody playing each riff completely slow. Just like the way,
Everything's at your fingertips now.
yeah, just like the way we take kind of our planet for granted and stuff. Sometimes you take the amount of availability of things to learn for granted, because there's just so much of it. It's overkill. I don't even watch TV anymore. YouTube is all I watch these days. And
I've kind of went down that rabbit hole myself.
And if there's nothing on YouTube, then I'll try Netflix. But Netflix is overrated.
Well, I used to be right into the Britpop scene, and Oasis were like the greatest band for me in that era. And I was into them. I went in a music shop, bought all the musical score for Definitely Maybe. Hadn't a fucking clue what it meant, but I bought it.
So
That's how much I was into them.
So you've got kids as well, and are they supportive of your music creation? Do they tell their friends that, hey, Dad's on Spotify?
Yes, I would like to think so. I just wrote a song inspired by my son. So, and I wrote a birthday song for my daughter back in, that's terrible, January.
It's interesting with kids, because you can never tell. It's hit and miss. Some kids are just like, I'm not telling everybody my daggy parents are making music.
I don't think they listen to it.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, maybe you should just pay them a couple of dollars to leave it on rotation for a week. At least pretend.
Yeah, I think put into my retirement fund for them, £1 or something.
Yeah, if you're getting into music to make money these days, yeah,
Not happening.
You're in the wrong business. Even being on YouTube it's tough slog. It really is tough slog. If you don't, I was saying to you at the beginning of this show, if you don't put out something for a couple of days, no one comes to your channel, and it's really tough. You've got to. You're only as good as your last. Yeah, you're only as good as your last video or your last song, or you have to keep it going. People's attention spans just are not there anymore.
And new original music doesn't really get the same exposure as what if you do cover versions. Any of the cover versions I've done totally eclipse any of the original.
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll talk about that soon. So, how did you was getting back into music? Did the pandemic play a part in this at all? How did you cope during all of that stuff that went on? Did that help you make music?
I pretty much had to work through it. I work for an essential service for local government, so I had to work through it. But you couldn't go anywhere when you finished work, so I spent quite a bit of time up in one of the bedrooms, just clinking away on the guitar. And then I progressed to a keyboard.
That's tough, man, because it's I know a lot of people I've had on here who really feel like they were able to blossom through that period because there was time to breathe, and hearing that, you didn't get a break from that must have been absolute slaughter. Because
that's two ways to look at it. I mean, a lot of people, they were claustrophobic, kept up all the time. At least I was still getting to go out and live, I suppose, to a certain degree.
Yep.
Whereas some people just didn't have that option.
Yeah, look, it's one of the reasons why I started this channel, to keep my mind active while everything was shut down, because there's nowhere to go, no one to see, and
you couldn't go to shops.
Yeah, I mean, you could go.
Couldn't go to the pub.
You could go to the supermarket.
The worst thing for me.
Yeah, they're still only just opening up, like a lot of venues here and stuff. It really did affect the music industry big time. Like, it's interesting because, the music industry thrived for digital releases because, I'm sure companies like DistroKid were just loving it. I mean, they got so overwhelmed. Yeah, like their release dates got put back so far during that because so many people were releasing music. But then at the same time, all the people that, the support networks of releasing music, like your pubs and all that, a lot of them went under. They're not open anymore. They went bankrupt. So really, really, really tough times.
Same for all your live bands. Live bands couldn't get out and play.
Yeah, and here in Australia, it was interesting because the government tried. Well, here in Australia, we're very lucky. The government compensated a lot of people. They paid you to stay at home. They paid people to leave their jobs and gave them this job keeper thing, which kept their job alive. But the entertainment industry got no support from the government whatsoever. No. And yeah, when your whole business is based on getting bands into your venue so you can underpay them, hoping that people are going to come and drink your piss, and nobody's coming to drink the piss, then, you're going to go under. Yeah,
definitely. There's quite a few in Scotland certainly went under.
Well, you guys are probably quite similar to us with pubs being a vital industry. Because
we're all pissheads in Scotland.
We're all pissheads in Australia too. for those of you who don't know what the term pisshead is, piss is referred to as alcohol. So some people might not know that. That's why when you get pissed, it's not pissing yourself. Although some
You're
people
inebriated.
That's a good word too. Although getting pissed, many people I know do piss themselves. That's another story. We're gonna play another song. I'm gonna choose. I'm kind of going in order from the videos you've given me. So I'm gonna play A Mother's Son. Do you want to tell us a bit about what this is about, how it all came together, how this became a thing, and who's on it, what it's all about?
This is another collaboration between me and Jeffrey. Again, Jeffrey had this as an instrumental, and he sent it over to me and he asked me again, do you want to put some lyrics to this? And when I listened to the song, it remind me a bit of you too, to a certain degree. And again, the chorus line, the main hook to the song came to me fairly quickly. It just reminded me of a relationship between myself and my mother. So, and how as you get older, you don't communicate as much. So I built the song on that.
Awesome. Guys, this is A Mother's Son. We'll see you back. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. We'll see you back shortly. Enjoy the tunes. And let's do it. This is A Mother's Son. Boom.
Boom.
Oh, that was awesome. That was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, I can hear the U2 in there. I can hear it in there, a bit of flavour in there. Welcome to anybody who's joined since we did the call out. Zach Thong, and I think I saw, who else did I see? Russ has joined us late. time change probably fucked him up.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, 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 hello. I love you. Won't you tell me your name? All right. So clearly you two work really well together, you and Jeffrey. Have you guys considered like actually, because there's quite a few artists out here in this community who've actually started a band and giving yourself a name. Like, has this been something that you've been considering at all?
It's something we have discussed in the past, yes. We've got a few other projects that we're working on at the moment. We've got another song I would say was pretty much finished. We're just looking for the right moment to release it. But I know I really like working with Jeffrey. He puts all the music together. I'll put the lyrics and the vocals to it. It works for me.
Kristen Lee says, he's lying, guys. Me and Callum listen to his music.
That's my youngest daughter.
I thought so. Thanks, Kirsten, for clarifying. I hope you're doing well.
She's quite sassy.
I would expect nothing less. Confirmed right there. So if you're like considering doing this, we've got a scoop here, folks. So we could have another virtual band on our hands. Have you thought of any names that you might call yourselves?
Well, we discuss. I don't know whether Jeffrey wants me to reveal that part or not, but our name is quite contradictory. The one that we've discussed anyway.
All right. So, well, if we're not going to hear it now, so look forward to that. I think that's really exciting. Have you like considered anyone else who'd be a part of this, or?
No, we hadn't discussed that. We just kind of looked at just the two of us. But you never know.
Jeffrey says, no problem, mate.
We were talking about calling the band The Darkest Light then.
That's nice. Yeah.
The Darkest Light, so just so it was contradictory.
Awesome. We got a kind of sort of got a scoop here. That's
kind
awesome. I think you guys really work well together. So I really hope to see that happen, because it is a bit jarring sometimes when you see songs by people and it's just by two names. It's nice to have something to wrap around the whole project, and give yourselves a name.
The good thing as well, there's no conflict between me and Jeffrey. Just both go with the flow.
Well, that's good. That's how all bands.
The strange thing is, we've made all this music together, and we've never had an actual oral conversation.
Oh wow! Really?
Everything's been through emails and Messenger, basically.
Wow, that's intense. Because I can't do that, man. I normally will have some kind of voice interaction. Like I just finished up a track for Night Train 1988 for his album, and we didn't have any voice communication right until the end. And
right.
And now that it's all done and dusted and the video clip's all finished, I wish we had spoken more. We probably would have understood things more, because text can be really jarring sometimes.
I've collaborated with loads of people now. And this is the first, CTL, this conversation you and I are having at the moment is the first oral conversation with a community member I've had.
Awesome. So speaking
hopefully that'll open up the doors.
Is it because you're worried
people understand me?
Are you just worried that people won't understand you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really, man? That's crazy.
I know Hugh in Scotland understand me.
Yeah, well, now Aussies understand you easy enough. I mean, it is funny. Like, you guys just see the title we called the video Understanding John David Lees. I thought it was hilarious because, you were like, I don't think people are going to be able to understand me. You won't be able to understand me. It just made sense to call the show.
Yeah, when you sent me that and I read it, I actually laughed out loud.
Yeah, I did while I was making it. I was like, oh, man, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. What's going on, Deep Gravity? Welcome aboard. Anyone else who's joined? All right. So talking about collaborations, man, you came out of nowhere in this community. It was like all of a sudden there's there's John David Lees, or J.D.L. We'll start calling him that. That all starts happening. And then all of a sudden, Hippie would have a show on and he'd be like, boom, next up we got another cover from Laurie's Mishmash with J.D.L. Next up, we got this one with J.D.L. J.D.L. Boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, you were fucking everywhere, man.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
It's how's that been like being involved in all these amazing artists?
Been amazing. It's I've learned so much just by singing all different genres of songs and to working with different artists, and quite a few are in the chat tonight. Worked with Hugh a lot, worked with Laurie a lot, worked with PJ a lot. I've worked with Mark Wolf, Forest of the Wolf, Jeffrey, many more. Sorry if I've forgotten anybody.
And do you find working with all these different people that their processes are different from each other? What goes into the? I'm always curious about this. Say, for example, because I know Laurie has been hassling me for ages to do a collab with her, and I'm the worst collabor because anyone who's worked with me knows I'm the worst. So I just tend to say no all the time because I just don't have the time. But say, for example, what is the process you go through to do a Laurie's Mishmash track? How does it all begin? How's the process? I want to know.
Laurie just basically sends me an email with a track, backing track here. Can you sing this? And I'll say yes or no. I think I've only said no once. I think that was just because I wasn't at home at the time. Because it opened me up to a lot of songs that a lot of these songs I've never even knew. But I seem to pick up the vibe of the song fairly quickly.
So you've got to go and listen to the track,
a lot,
run it through your head, get your lyrics sorted, and then you've got to organise a video clip as well. So
yeah.
Did you have to go out and get yourself a green screen and all that jazz?
Green screen lighting. That's a CTL that I've made. I think I made about £50 off my music, and I've spent about £2,000.
It's like that, isn't it?
It is, aye.
But it's the love. It is absolutely the love of having.
I'm certainly enjoying it.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. When I first started this channel, I would look out into the YouTuber sphere, and green screens weren't a thing. Not many people had them. And even when I started this channel, I wasn't using a green screen. I just had my room behind me. And now it seems everybody's got a fucking green screen. And,
yeah,
and even if you don't have one, you can use software to get around it. Yeah, there are ways around it. But nothing beats having an actual green screen. So do you have a space there where your green screen, is it permanently up or anything like that?
No, it's not up all the time. So every time I make a video, I've got to build it, hit the lighting up. I try and do the video itself in one take, rather than do it in parts. I try and do it all in one go, which usually takes me about an hour to do, just for a 3-minute song.
Wow, I wish I could do it in an hour. I'm such a Virgo.
The hardest one for me to do actually was the Eminem cover, because there's so many lyrics in that song. Yeah,
and that was really awesome too. I think that's really as an interest. I have that written on here. I have Eminem written here because you have sung on so many different kind of artists in these collaborations, so it's different genres of music. And then all of a sudden you came out and did an Eminem track, and I remember just being totally blindsided going, huh? What?
Did you say why?
No. Like it blindsided me completely. No, I love that shit, man. I love people who step outside their comfort zones. It's part of why I do a show like this every day and try and encourage people to do it. It's why I have 5-6 different bands, because you can get stuck in a place, and before long you look back and go, oh my God, I'm releasing the same shit over and over again. So I think it's really healthy to release stuff like that. And you did a great version of it.
I just thought, can I do that? I've got to get a try, fuck it. So I started doing it, and I just says, and I don't really as much rap it. I try and sing rap, if you know what I mean.
Well, you pulled it off. You did it really well. Like, you know,
Thank you.
And I know when I think the first time I saw it was on Ron's show. Maybe I can't remember. It was, who knows? God, there's so many shows. But I saw it come up and was like, what? Eminem, really? And you know, you got to give you kudos, man. You knocked it right out of the park. And I know a lot of people will agree. Thomas Christ writes here. J.D.L's Eminem cover was one of my faves. That was crazy good. It was, and I think it's a testament to stepping outside of your comfort zone, because you need to always be challenging yourself, or you don't get better.
Yeah, that's also my thinking. You've got to challenge yourself. If you get stuck in the same rut, that's why I've tried to do so many different collaborations in different genres.
One of my favorite clips recently was the one that you're in with Puppet Tom, where you were dancing in your kilt.
That was with you.
Now that was taken from another clip, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
yes, Dance With Me.
yeah. So you guys rehash that and then put it into Tom's clip, and
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I had a good giggle.
you got it, man. Do you laugh at yourself a lot?
All the time.
I think it's really healthy. If you take yourself too serious, it's one of the things I love about Laurie's Mishmosh. She really takes the piss, and that's a hard thing to do for an American.
You think so?
Have you been to America?
Yeah, I've been to New York. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can be quite certainly.
The humour's different.
Some of the people I met there were aggressive.
The humour is different than us Aussies, UK, Scottish. It's a little bit different. And
You don't really get irony.
yeah, I'm glad you said that. No, but like I love the way that Laurie's Mishmosh, she always takes the piss, and she has fun. It's one of the reasons I wanted her on the show, because to really showcase that she is. And, you know, it sucks that I haven't done a collab with her. I really want to, but it's just time, you know. Are there any songs that you have done, any collabs that you've done that really stand out, that are some of your favorites?
I would say probably I'm proud of the Eminem one.
Yep.
I'm also proud of did one with you, a Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, because it's got a lot of lyrics in it as well. But probably my favourite one is the one I've did with you, and that was the Echo and the Bunnyman, the Killing Man.
Oh, yeah, Echo and the Bunny Man. Awesome stuff. I'm going to play a track, and we'll come back. What was I going to play next? I'm going to play this one. I'm going to skip that one and come back to it. I'm going to play Light in My Eyes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this before we play it?
This is one. I was inspired by my son. One Christmas Day, we were all just sitting around the Christmas dinner table, chatting away, and he came away with he would like to see the whole of Scotland before he died. So I always registered it in my head, and it came back to me. So I wrote the song for that.
Awesome.
And when I put the song together, and it was missing sections, I thought, so I spoke with Mark Wolf from Forest of the Wolf and asked him to add some orchestration to it. So I sent him a track, and he sent me back in about 2 hours, mastered it, good to go.
God, you guys work quick. I'm jealous. So this is
Mark certainly does.
Yeah, he releases so much stuff. It's
Yeah.
mind-blowing. So this is Light in My Eyes, guys, featuring Forest of the Wolf and J.D.L. Chill out, relax, and we'll see you back here shortly. Boom.
My land and sea, mountains high. Before I lose the light in my eyes, my son, he came to me. Dad, I'm leaving the family home to another place far from here, to make a better life for me. My son, he said to me, Dad, I have found the girl of my dreams. She's the one that I want to spend my life with until I lose the light in my eyes. My son, I am proud of you. You have grown from a boy to a man. I hope you get to see those mountains high before I lose the light in my eyes.
Boom.
Boom. And just as Metalhead Hippie rocks in, there he is.
Boom.
He's just
Hi,
arrived
Jeff.
in the chat.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boop to you, Metalhead Hippie. And anyone else who's arrived, Welton Kinder. I see there's a few more people. Sean Chandler. Sorry I'm late. You're not really late. I started the show an hour earlier because of daylight savings here in Australia. And Pete Johns has a show after me, and he hasn't moved his clocks back. He hasn't moved his time back. So it is what it is. I had to move the show forward for the interviews. Lots of people loving that song, and rightly so, because it's a great song. And there's lots of J.D.L emojis. Remember, if you're a warrior, there are J.D.L emojis in the chat. Fill up the chat full of them. And also, too, if you like what I do here on the channel, you can always send a super chat or a super sticker. Totally up to you. Never expected. Just putting it out there because, you know, it is what it is.
I really love the orchestration that Mark put on that song,
Yeah, he's
especially at the end.
he's amazing at orchestration. He
Yes.
really puts together some amazing stuff. So if you haven't checked out Forest of the Wolf, you really should do. You know, he pumps out so much music, and having your voice added to the music really adds something. You know, really adds a lot to it.
Well, Mark and I didn't really get together musically first of all. I've seen some of his songs on Jeff's and Metal Hippie show, and we kind of started chatting on Messenger, but over football and gaming, video games. We both got a big love for role playing games like Skyrim and it's all medieval stuff. So we kind of got a love for that. We get talking about music, and I kind of cheekily said I wouldn't mind writing lyrics to one of your songs. So he sent me a track, and we've done a couple of songs together now.
Yeah, it's so awesome, man, to see so many people just be able to reach out over stuff like that and make something out of nothing, because that's what it is. It's, you know, it's a small text turns into a song. We are so lucky to be able to do this. I never dreamed of this when I was young. You know, when I was young, it was all had to hire a rehearsal room every fucking week with a bunch of your bandmates. It would cost you $40 every week to get to the rehearsal room, petrol. The PA was always shit, and you'd slog it out and jam, and then you get a gig every now and again, and you get ripped off by the
Underpaid,
venue. Yeah, and it's such a hard slog. And here we are in the day and age where I can just send an email to you or a messenger and say, like, getting you on the show, you know, it's just like, hey, do you want to come on the show? And here we all are, you know, a couple of emails
Here we
later.
are, yes.
It's so simple. Thanks, Russ, for the super sticker. That's really kind of you, mate. You rock.
The good thing about this community too, Jade, is everybody is so supportive.
Yeah.
There's always somebody there to give you that boost that you need to keep you going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've not met anybody yet, as Jeff would say, with class, don't be a dick. So I haven't come across many dicks.
Well, they do appear, but hopefully you've got good moderators. I know, like just in YML last week, and it happens probably, Thomas, you know, will vouch for me here. Once a week in YML, some dumb fuck will come in and write something like, this is shit. And we're on them like a fly on shit, you know.
It happened to me, Jens, actually.
We get rid of them as soon as we
chased
can.
them.
Like if you're going to come in and chastise people, like there's criticism, there's being a cunt, and then there's constructive criticism, you know. Hey, and you know, at the end of the day, you're not going to like everyone's fucking music or everyone's song. Like it's the probability that you're going to like every song is impossible.
Impossible, yeah.
So just shut the fuck up if you don't like it. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous why people need to get really upset about, oh, I don't like this. I used to be the same, John. I used to, if I didn't, I not really into dance music and stuff, and because I was a metalhead, I'd verbally have to like always go, I fucking hate dance music. And
see, I'm the same as you. I'm not really into dance music until I'm in the pub and there's dance music playing and my feet start getting happy and I want to dance. Then I'm really into dance music.
I think it was just, for me, it was just part of the metal thing where you've just always got to let people know, I like metal, all right?
Yeah.
Where now it's just, hey, if I don't like something, I just fucking shut the hell up.
There's merit to every type of music. There is merit. It's just what your taste, it's personal taste, really.
Exactly. That is the thing, isn't it? Like, you know, you don't have to like everything, because if it doesn't hit you in the feels, man, it doesn't hit you in the feels. Like, but to sit there and people need to be heard, I think, on this world at the moment, where it's like, I don't like this and I need you to know about it so you know that I exist. It's like, well, we know you exist now and you're a prick. So out you go.
We know you for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, thanks for making it very clear who you are. Hey, thank you, Frank, for the PayPal. That's really kind of you as well. Thanks, my friend. So I want to get down to talking about. Hang on, Hippie's got a question. Hippie wants to know, how does John free ball under his kilt?
There is no other way to wear them, Jeff.
I knew it was going to come, man.
Yeah, I knew it was coming too.
It's interesting, you know, because I said at the beginning of the show myself, is it a kilt or is it a skirt? What's the difference? Is it just the material? You know, it's funny being trans, right? Because when I came out, you know, all of a sudden I'm wearing skirts and stuff, and all these people like fucking, I even had, can you believe this? I even had somebody at a gig, the gall, a guy at a gig in a kilt, call me a tranny piece of shit.
You,
And I
you
just,
should have told him to get to. I'll not finish that.
I
In case my
just,
mother-in-law watches this,
I just
she's
looked at
like me
him.
swearing.
I was like, dude, look what you're
He's
wearing,
got
man. Like, you've got more balls than me. What the fuck? Anyway, it's funny. All
yeah,
right.
he had a bit of a cheeky.
Yeah, people are cheeky, aren't they? So I want to know about your songwriting process. Do you have a process when you're putting together a song? Does it depend on the type of music? And we'll get into what you use. So do you have a process? Is it lyrics? Is it music? Do you start with the guitar? What's the average?
I suppose it's different all the time, Jade. I don't really. Like with Jeffrey, he sends me. Same with Mark, Boris of the Wolf. They send me instrumental tracks. I write for what I feel for the music. My own, I could come up with the lyrics to begin with, or I could put a sample on in Logic Pro, and that'll inspire lyrics, and then I'll start building the track for there. I've got quite a few different lyrics written in my phone, which I just hadn't came across music for yet.
It seems like there's a good portion of your music that is very personal stuff. So is that a common theme with your music?
Yeah. I suppose you can write songs that can be fun and catchy, but the best songs are the ones that come with feeling. They come from somewhere that's within you that you're actually feeling yourself. So, and people will believe that more.
Absolutely. And do you, when you're writing words, do you try and create do you try and affect yourself?
Sometimes, a lot of the times I write for a third person perspective. I mean, I've written a track about a serial killer, which it's definitely not me.
Sure.
No, I'm pretty well. There's some people that probably better not in this world.
Yeah, where were you on last Friday night though, when that body
I
went?
was watching the Metal Hippie show.
Boom. Jeff will be happy about that. Yeah, look, when I write stuff, if I can make, if it's personal, I'm not happy until it makes me cry. It's bizarre. Like, I know it's
But that's a good. I would say that's a good thing, because again, you're making it. It's believable. It's coming from you.
yeah. It's a hard
If it
thing
makes
to
you
do.
happy, it's an amazing song.
It's a really hard thing to do too, because like you push yourself to get to that point, and then you start crying, and you know the lyrics are right and everything's right, and then you've got to record it, and then every time you try and sing it, you burst into tears. But thankfully, some of those takes work really good because it conveys a message. Have there been times in songs where you've nailed a line and gone, "Oh, that's not right," but it's the way that you've delivered it that it is right, even though it may not be the right notes?
You think it? You mean cringy or?
No, so there'll be times when I'll sing something and I know I'm a little bit flat somewhere, but I know when I was singing it, there was so much heart in it that it has to be there. I know I'm not, and you try and recapture. You know what I mean? When you do a
Yeah.
take and you try and recapture something a little bit better, but it was just
It just doesn't work.
yeah.
There's quite a few songs I've done where I'll listen to it and I'll go, how did I miss that? And I've got because a word that I've recorded it maybe 3-4 times, and I've maybe put a different word in one of the takes, and then I've left it in and I'm going, how did I miss that? But now that I go back and I listen to the song, I can't hear it any other way. That word's it's got to be that way.
Yeah.
I do sing a lot of flat notes, to be fair.
I prefer to call them J.D.L happy mistakes.
Yeah, I suppose they are.
You know, no one, and you know what? We've talked about this with other people on the show before, where you sing a part of a song, and every time you hear the song, you've released it. I wish I could retake that bit again, and you know, like you could do that better. And I've got it with many of my songs, and I'll be out somewhere and somebody will have my music on. I'll be cringing at that first. And then that part will come up that I know I sung shit. And I used to do this thing where that bit came up in the song, and I'd just start talking and go, "So what's everyone been doing?" And like try and cover that part of the song.
Yeah, but you do tend to overanalyze your own music. You don't really sit back and appreciate it for what it is. Whereas other people who are just listening to it, they're just listening to the song. They're not listening to all the intricacies that went into it.
Absolutely. Are you an overcritical artist of yourself? Do you sit there and go back and listen to things afterwards over and over again?
Yeah, I do listen to them quite a bit, but I wouldn't say I was overcritical, no. No. If it's shit, it's shit. If you like it, you like it.
I'm glad you said you listen to your own music, because I think that's incredibly healthy. I know back in the day, God, it used to be almost a sin where if you said, "Yeah, I listen to my own music," and people would be like, "What? You're a bit of a wanker, aren't you?" If you can't listen to your own music, then
How do you expect somebody else to listen to it?
exactly. So let's talk about, where are we? We're 31. I'm going to play another song, then we'll talk about what you use to make music, and then we'll get out of here for the day. What have I got here? Should I do that or this? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to end with. Oh, let's do this. I want to end with that one. We'll play this one here, I think. Oops, my mic disappeared. So we'll play this one. Russ had a question. Let me do this before we go on. Let me find that question. Question: the silver discs hanging up in the background, what are they all about?
Well, they're not mine. No, it's a collector's edition. My favourite band's Blue October, so it's a collector's edition of one of their albums.
Nice. Did that set you back?
No, I sent my wife back. She bought it for me.
Thanks, wife.
She's not a bad seller.
All right, I'm going to play. We're going to play Eternal Night. The Eternal Night. This is another one with you and Forrest. Do you want to give us some background around this?
I touched on it earlier. Mark and I, we both got a kind of fascination with the RPG games to do with medieval times, and he sent me this track, and I was listening to it. It sounds like it comes from that era. So as I was listening to it, I started picturing a knight in a battle, and then I just progressed to being an eternal knight who can never die. So he just continuously into fight. So I just built it around about that.
Nice. I love music.
Which thankfully Mark loved.
I love music based around video games. I'm a big video game head myself. In fact, because I haven't been well lately, that's what I've been spending a lot of time doing, laying in bed, playing.
What do you play?
I play a lot of single player story games. I'm playing Spider-Man, the remastered, on Steam at the moment. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
It's very good.
Oh, but you know, and I'm playing also that motorbike game. I can't think what it's called. The zombie motorbike game.
Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah. So I'm playing
That's
that
really
at the
good.
moment.
Actually, the song at the end of that, I don't know, you maybe not got to the end of it, but there's a song done by Lewis Capaldi. And amazing.
Oh, is that
it's not one of his mainstream songs.
Right. Is that in the game?
It's at the very end of the credits.
Right.
It's amazing.
I'm terrible.
It's called Days Gone.
You know, I'm so terrible. What I do is I get a game and I love it so much that I have like 12 games going at the same time, because I don't want them to end. You know, it's like ever since playing The Last of Us, which I've played that game, I probably reckon about 30 times.
The first half hour of that's very emotional.
Oh man! And every time I play The Last of Us, the beginning, I sit there in tears, just going, no, and you know it's all coming. And
the TV show coming out right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
HBO doing it.
I hope they do a good job. All right. Anyway, we're off track, and we're going to play this track. This is the External Night by J.D.L and Forrest of the Wolf, and we'll see you back here shortly, and we'll bring this interview home. Yeah, boom. Awesome stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
that really captured the flavor of a video game. I could feel it.
Yeah, I
Especially,
think a lot of Mark's music really he should be writing scores for video games because his music's amazing.
yeah, I'll tell you what, is a good market he could get into is
Yeah, it's very epic in scale.
what he should be doing is creating these shorter pieces or pieces and submitting them to the YouTube royalty-free music section. More people should be doing that. You can actually submit your money to the YouTube royalty-free section, and then people can use that music as royalty-free music, and you get paid for it.
Yeah,
More people really should be doing that. I don't know why they don't, but that's another thing.
especially if you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get paid for your music now.
And the thing is too, then people are using your music as royalty-free music on so many YouTube. Because you think about it, the amount of YouTube channels that are looking for royalty-free stuff, and if you're able to go into that YouTube section and just find your music there, it's going to get played on someone's fucking channel. So
Yeah,
and it's better
that's not a bad idea, then.
it's better being played somewhere than nowhere. You know.
Yeah,
It's how I used to look at it with when you make CDs. The last CD I released and actually released a hard physical CD, I made like 15,000 of them. I think I've got like a bit over 100 of them left. And now I just give them away to people. People are like, oh, why do you give them away? It's like, it's better being in somebody else's house or CD player than in a box in my house. You know?
yeah. At least someone's listening to it then.
It's even better being used as a drink coaster than sitting in my house.
It should be used for its purpose.
Absolutely. Whatever you can use it for that. Let's talk about
Not just many should be listened to.
how do you make music? So are you predominantly still using GarageBand on iOS? Are you using a PC?
I use both GarageBand and then I'm pretty much mostly use Logic Pro now.
Right. So
GarageBand, if I'm just bored and I've just put GarageBand up my iPad, maybe throw a sample on and then just tinker a bit with some keys. But if I'm on Logic Pro, I usually I build most of my tracks on there.
I think I've moved now to the very same method as you. I start all my songs now in GarageBand on iOS and then just dump the whole project over onto the Mac.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about auto limiting.
Yeah, because GarageBand's quite bad for that, isn't it?
It is the scorn of iOS. I really hope they get rid of it. But are there any apps in particular that you use on iOS to make music?
No particularly, no. Pretty much stick with GarageBand, Logic Pro. I've been on BandLab as well. I was watching a couple of videos that Pete done, some tutorials on there. Couldn't really get into it though. It's okay for mastering, I suppose, but I couldn't really get into the virtual instruments in it.
Yeah, I couldn't either. It's another door, isn't it? Like again, like
Pretty much.
Pete says it all the time. It's ones and zeros. It doesn't matter what you use. You just got to use the thing that you're comfortable with. How long have you been using? We've got a porn bot in the room. Hang on a minute.
Why do I need a sex bot when I have Jade?
We've got a porn
right.
bot. Good job, Thomas. You got rid of it. We can't have porn bots in here. Every time we get a porn bot in the chat now, you know what'll happen.
Why do I need
be
a
Ron
sex
Ward.
bot
Yep.
when I have Jade?
Every time. So, how long have you been using Logic Pro for?
Logic Pro I've been using for we're coming on, is this a second year? Yeah, we're coming up to 2 years I've been using Logic Pro.
Did you find there was a steep learning curve, or have you still yet to explore all of it?
God, I don't think I've touched the surface with it. I'm using it basically as a beefed up version of GarageBand. I don't even think I've got to grips with everything in GarageBand.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. There's a lot under the hood that you don't know about that wow. I mean, there's so much to it. I'm just starting now to watch more and more videos on it and try and learn more about it. And can't wait till I've mastered it. Although you never really do master things, you know. You're always,
No, there's always room to learn.
yeah. Um,
But the good thing about going to Logic Pro was it's, like I said, it's a beefed up version of GarageBand, so it wasn't such a steep curve getting into Logic Pro coming for GarageBand. I think I would have struggled with any other daughter if I'd moved from GarageBand to something else. I looked at Audio Pro, but I couldn't get into it either.
Yeah, I used Audio Pro for a long time. I still do. But the reason I use it was more like the DAWs I used to use, like Pro Tools and that kind of stuff. So it was familiar. And I've decided to stop using that now because I've got Logic, and I spent, Logic's not cheap either. Logic,
No, it cost me about £200.
yeah,
But am I right in saying that Pro Tools is a subscription, is it?
it sure is. Yeah, it's not like the old days. We just paid for it once and then updated every year. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a subscription, and I've already got so many subscriptions. Are you overwhelmed by subscriptions like everybody?
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of thing that there's got to be something that happens in this world that breaks this subscription thing, because it's like it's the way it creeps up on you and hits you every month.
I think if you pay for something once, that should be enough. There should be a monetary value on it. This is how much it costs, and then that's it. There shouldn't be a subscription.
Yeah,
It's the same in gaming. A lot of games now, it's you buy the game, but then you've got to spend hundreds of pounds to get the full experience.
I don't mind a subscription that's a yearly thing, right?
Your
If
monthly
it's if it's reasonably priced, you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
a lot of things that they'll say, like, $7.99 a month or $150 a year or whatever. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't mind if something's like $30-$40 a year, and then you pay for what you get for the year. I like some of the newer apps that are on iOS that are trying this thing, like Loopy Pro, who are saying, hey, you pay up once, you get updates all the way for the year, and then we charge at the end of the year for the next year of updates. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can see value in that. But this every single month, because you're not using these things every day, some of them.
No, I understand companies, they've got to make money and they've got to make profit, but there's being greedy as well.
Man, I shouldn't have started talking about this just as I was talking about it. I just got an email from GoDaddy renewing my monthly subscription for my website. Fuck you, GoDaddy.
See, everybody's listening in to like a conversation.
Yeah. Bang. Hang on. Did I just get another one? No, that can't be. No, it was PayPal letting me know. That's awesome. Great stuff. So, all right. So look, all your music is released through do you use DistroKid for your distributor?
Yeah, I use DistroKid, yeah.
How do you find that experience with DistroKid?
It's fairly simple. Yeah, straightforward. And it's really not expensive.
It isn't, is it?
No, it's not.
I think
Just to say that you've got your name, as you said, your name next to artists like Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, you name it, your name's next to them. Only cost you 20 quid to me.
I know, right? Like, it's my whole thing. $20, as long as I can make the $20 back in a year to pay for the $20 for the next year, my music is next to Bruce Springsteen. It's with everyone. There's so much value in that. It's $20, and for the amount of music a lot of us here release, that's a really good price. And I'm not trying to turn this into a DistroKid ad, even though they do sponsor the channel, and I love them for that. I'm going to jump over here to, so in the description, guys, let me see, am I going to the right place? It's artists. Let's do this. Diablo. I'm just trying to find your latest thing on Apple Music. Upload. And it's not doing it. Why can't I find you on here? Let's do this. I'll show you guys what I'm doing, actually. Let's jump over and do this. So if you guys didn't know, you can, once you're on DistroKid, you can go to a place called Songwhip. This is really cool. So Songwhip will, and this is a free service, and you can just go in and type in your name in here, and you'll find your music. And what it does is,
I've got a link to it on Instagram.
yeah,
Songwhip.
in the description, guys, of today's interview, all the links to JDL's music and social media, so everything is there. So this is what Songwhip does. When you go to Songwhip, you type in your artist name. And I think that's you right there, isn't it? That one there? I think so. We'll find out. And it creates this link for you. So, and what it does is it creates links to all your places all in one go. So you can go to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, all the places that your music's released. It even creates a YouTube music thing. And if you've got a music video, I think it, maybe it doesn't do that. So you can get to everything really easy. So I can just click Apple Music like so, and boom, there you go. And look, I haven't even added your latest single, which I should do right now. And that's how easy it is. So anybody who is using, got music out, go and create a Songwhip link, because it'll help people get to your music. And it's totally, absolutely free. So there's a link to Songwhip down in the description. So make sure you go and check out all of John's music. What have you got coming up? Have you got any songs in the works that we should be paying attention for?
For immediate release, I've got, well, I say immediate, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, a couple of cover songs. I'm also working on a couple of originals, one with Jim Hebert, and I've been working on anything for Forest of the World. And as I said, Jeffrey and I have got one sitting and good to go. It's just looking at the right moment to release it.
So
quite busy.
That's great. So you want to keep an eye on, there's also a link to your YouTube channel, which is down in the description as well. So you want to go over and sub him up. Boom. Go and sub up J.D.L and make sure you keep up to date with all of his music. Now, we're probably going to finish a few minutes earlier today. I'm going to hit you with our last patented question that I hit everybody up with today, because I want to play this music. I want to make sure I get it all in, finish the show, and everyone can go over to Pete's show or do whatever they want, because straight after this show finishes, guys, you'll be automatically
dumped over to Pete John's channel.
You'll be dumped within an instant over to Pete John's channel for his Creator Town Hall. So we'll do that. But I really want to leave room for the last song that I'm going to play today, which is a song between you and Folk Punk, which I think is really, it's one of those songs that is super, it hits you. It hits you.
It was born for the Metalhead Hippie show as well. I heard the instrumental being played, and it just resonated with me that I'd written a song for COVID, called Dark Times Ahead, and it was more about the pandemic than anything else. But when I listened to that, and I thought those lyrics, I could rework them, and it would be more to do with, it's about every war, but it's specifically more what's happening in Ukraine at the moment. So, and JJ was very happy for me to add the lyrics to it and sing on it, and the music he put together, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, look, he's on my list, and I know he's here today in the chat if he's still here, but Folk Punk, you are on my list, so you're going to get a call up soon, because I find your music and really, really awesome, and I think your story is going to be fascinating. So I have a list of people.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to know more about this elusive character. Hey, what's going on, Dr. Zorders? And Tom Caraher, who are here in the chat, iOS Music Man. Anyone who I have not gotten to, because on these shows, I just explain one more time, I try and focus on my guest and the show and talk. If I've missed you in the chat, I'm very appreciative that you're here, because we've got 35 people here. We've had a lot of people here today. So, you know.
I appreciate every last one of you.
You're a popular boy.
That's not bad.
That was terrible.
I've heard worse.
Oh,
I've heard a lot worse.
I can do. I'm pretty good with accents. I'm not going to go any further in case I don't want to do Pete, and Pete murders accents. He's the worst.
He did try the Scottish one, Jens, and it didn't go down well.
He's not a bonny lad at all. So I'll hit you with the last question, then we'll go with this track. If somebody was considering becoming creative, John, when would you suggest that they start?
Just as soon as they possibly can. As soon as they hear that thought, do it. Because I didn't start doing it until I was in my late 40s. So if you get the inclination to do it sooner, do it.
Absolutely. John, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me today and coming on the show and sharing your music and all about who you are. I want to thank everybody for being here in the chat and supporting the channel. As per usual, I couldn't do it without you. You guys are fantastic. I hope you enjoy the videos. Make sure you hit the like. If you're watching on the replay and you're not subscribed, it's free. So subscribe, man. There'll be something on this channel that will be for you. And if not, maybe another day. You know what I'm saying? We are going to go out today with this track, Warlords Sleep on Satin Sheets, brackets, Dark Times Ahead. This is an incredibly powerful song. Anything you would like to add before we get the hell out of here for the day?
I just want to thank you very much for bringing me on, letting me see that people can understand me. I'm not talking in tongues.
I told you.
I've really enjoyed it. You're right. 2 hours has flown by.
It does, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, it does.
For I don't know what it's like for people watching, because I've never watched. I don't go back and watch a lot of my own shows, but doing it, it's like, what? We're here already?
Definitely flown by.
Yeah, and
I've really enjoyed it too.
Nearly everyone who comes on too at the beginning goes, I don't know what we'll talk about in 2 hours. It's like,
yeah, I was the same. I'm thinking, what are we going to talk about?
Well, it's just a chat. That's what it is. I don't.
It's down to your skill.
Well, thank you so much. I love talking to people. I love talking to talented artists. I love promoting people. That is what it's all about. So let's
appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming on and appreciate your music too. Thank you so much. So let's do this. I'm going to just mute here. So as I said, guys, as soon as this show ends, it'll bounce you straight over to Pete Johns' channel for the Creator Town Hall. I won't be back here on the channel until Sunday, where I'm doing a live performance for the opening hour. And if you're a Patreon, we're doing a special episode on mastering this weekend, everything about mastering. Alrighty, let's do it. This is Warlords Sleep on Satin Sheets, Dark Times Ahead by J.D.L and Folk Punk. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we all rise together. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Into darkness we descended. When was this nightmare portended? Sanity has been suspended, worse than ever comprehended. Searching, needing, wanting, feeling, head wheels are spinning, disbelieving. People dying in the streets whilst warlords sleep on satin sheets. Dark times ahead, dark times ahead, dark times ahead. Soldiers fighting in the streets, no one will admit defeat. Fight until the last heartbeat. No surrender, no retreat. Kicking, punching, shooting, screaming. Hearts are pounding, heavy breathing. People crying long for peace. Warlords sleep on satin sheets. Dark times Now the world is all but changed. Do not fall to disengage. Fight for justice in Ukraine. Ease their burden, ease their pain. Stop the fighting, stop the bleeding. Violence only leads to grieving. Children killed, rest in peace. Warlords sleep on satin sheets. Dark times ahead, 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 dark times.